I feel the same, Crash. With that said, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play Crash 2 Cortex Strikes Back. In the last episode, we dicked around with Dr. Cortex by collecting certain shiny things that he wasn't looking for, and then finally collected some of the shiny things that he was looking for. In this episode, we're gonna go get some of the shiny things that he was asking for some more. With that in mind, I'm gonna have to do Snow Go properly. So, I'm going to try the red gem trick once. If I happen to get it, good. If I don't, too bad, I guess. Of course, I don't know if I ever had an opportunity to do this in the previous game, but we collect 3 Aku Aku masks. You get temporary invincibility buff. Always the way, isn't it? And slight speed up while you're running around with a mask on your face. Yeah, thought I could bounce off his head even when he was spinning, but I guess I'm wrong. Alright. I repeat, one try. Nope. I mean, I actually pulled it off that time, so at least in terms of what I was trying to accomplish. But since I didn't, I said I was only going to do it once, and I didn't fall into the pit, so there's that. Collect every box this time, rather than skip past those few boxes near the beginning that I skipped over without thinking about whether or not I was even going to attempt to go after the box gem. But we're going to go after the box gem, because box gems are boxes. You break boxes to get boxes to make boxes go kablooey and stuff. I don't know. They have a nice crunch sound to them whenever you hit them. And the Wumpa fruit too. They have this nice. I never really get. People think they're apples because of the noise that they make. Sounds like a biting into an apple sort of sound. I always thought it was more of like a sort of slurping sound, like the way you would sort of slurp up a bit of peach fruit, a bit of a peach after you bit into it, bit a chunk off it or something like that. At least that's the way I interpret it. Forgive me for interpreting it like that and making people confused. It's just what I hear. It doesn't sound like a apple biting crunch. It sounds like a slurp. Granted, Wumpa fruits are neither apples nor peaches, because apparently they have like a purple innard, from what I recall. I can't remember where I recall this from, but yeah, that's great, Crash. Again, I don't remember. I've heard of the two conflicting origins of that particular dance. Oh, hello, Screwball.
You Cortex gather crystals, yet you have acquired a gem. Interesting. Well, Crash, know this. As long as you are allied with Cortex, you are my sworn enemy, and I will do anything in my power to stop you. If the fate of the world is truly your concern, you must gather the gems, not the crystals. If you obtain all 42 gems, I can use them to focus a laser beam that will destroy Cortex and the space station he's created. Until then, I must use my forces to stop you from gathering Chris.
From gathering what? Who's Chris? I don't know what a Chris is. Okay, well, that right there, I've always assumed that that was some sort of emulation problem with the game, because just a thought in my mind, to the degree it's possible that this happens on pretty much any time that you're playing Crash Bandicoot 2 on any other system other than a PlayStation, like emulated off of the PlayStation, like, yeah, any sort of emulated software or hardware for the original PlayStation as opposed to original PlayStation, because for whatever reason the dialogue and lip movements get ever so slightly desynced as they go on with their conversations. And I think it's just a case of the game was... I think it's a case where the game and the cutscenes were programmed around a certain disk speed. At least that's my theory. Where the disc has to spin at a certain speed in order to be properly aligned with the dialogue, or vice versa. Up in the treetop sort of areas, like we were in the first game's bonus stages. Unfortunately, there is no Tawna Bandicoot at the end waiting for us, because she's been excised from this game, from the games after this point. Again, conflicting stories on why that is. Now, I can't remember, with the Crash dance, I can't remember if it's a case of the dance was based off of Japanese marketing, or the Japanese marketing was based off the dance. Either way, there was a lot of marketing going on for Crash Bandicoot in Japan at the time, between the second, third game. I don't know about any games after that, but, you know, the internet is rife with videos showing the marketing campaign for Crash Bandicoot in Japan, and it was peculiar, to say the least. Oh. It's an interesting thing. Even if you died, even if the checkpoint was before one of those bonus stages, you're not required to have to revisit any bonus stages after you've already completed them. Which also means if you happen to miss a box in one of those bonus stages, you can't get back in to recollect it. So tough beans. Make sure that you get them all. And if you press triangle, it'll bring up your HUD showing you exactly how many of the crates you've ended up destroying, as well as the number of lives and Wumpa Fruit that you have on hand at a given time. But it wouldn't be until Crash Bandicoot 3 where the game would show you the tally of the number of crates out of the total crates available in the stage. Ugh. Which would be a lot more helpful in situations where you're trying to get a hold of all the different... where you're trying to get all the crates. Then you keep a tally, you press the triangle button, and it's just like, you have 46, okay. It's good to be able to keep track of how many that I have, but I don't know how many I'm shooting for. Come on. No, I wonder what's over there. If there's anything over there. It looks like it's a solid platform that could be jumped on, but, you know, considering the trouble I had trying to get to the red gem, doing the slide spin jump, nah, not gonna bother. Crystal get. I did not mean to press the buttons in that order. I swear. Oh. So I'll have to go through this again. Why on earth did I talk with a Boston accent there for a moment? Okay, that's that all lovely. Yeah, and that green exclamation point box, that destroys all nitro crates in a crates in a given level. So, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not sure. Depends on your perspective. Nitro crates do count towards your box total. So if you go through a level that has a lot of nitro crates in it, and somehow do not find the green exclamation point box at the end of that, oops. You got a problem there. Although sometimes it could be part of a gimmick in the stage where you have to go to another stage or a hidden entrance to a given stage in order to even get to that, or even see any of the nitro crates in question. In this case, it was a place that had the blue gem pathway. Because, yes, the colored gems are still a thing that are required to access certain paths in given stages, but they're hardly near as annoying to acquire and deal with as they were in the first Crash game. Am I going to get talked to after every single stage?
3 crystals. Not bad. I see you are getting the hang of it. I need to conserve power. I will communicate with you again after you retrieve the 5th crystal.
And I think I was talking about that earlier. Not all of these things are desynced, but I think it's because some of the problem is the longer a situation, one of those conversations go, will also affect exactly how long it will take for things to desync. At least that's how I've observed it. Like, if you're playing the game emulated, you'll notice the desync, like, even if it's through the PlayStation Network versions. Thought that was gonna trigger, but whatever. Or even if you're playing an original disc copy on anything but the original PlayStation 1. Because later versions of the PlayStation disc system would just have higher disc spinning speeds. At least that's my theory. Oh joy! Multiple pathways. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to go down both of them. Now that said, I've never tried playing Crash Bandicoot games on the PlayStation 2 with the disc speed reduced to normal, because I think it's possible to adjust the disc speed of the PlayStation 2 at the very least to account for things like the original PlayStation, because original PlayStation games often were programmed for a specific disc speed, but if you had the disc read speed a lot faster, I think that's, again, part of what causes Crash Bandicoot 2 cutscenes to have that weird issue where it cuts out a little too early. Did I get the crystal? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. If you get the crystal, it'll show up on your HUD when you press the triangle button. But this is unfortunate. I'm still having to travel backwards against the camera, and if I don't super remember everything about the level, then I'm in trouble. Gah! Like that! And, you know, that's unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. That's unfortunate that they don't ever adjust for that during these games, but from my understanding, the reason for that is that the Crash Bandicoot games have a locked camera and are played in this hallway perspective explicitly to conserve on disk space or read time, because the game has ridiculously fast culling for anything that is on viewable on camera. Like, if you, by the time that you walk away from most stuff, once it gets off screen, it no longer exists, or it curls up into a pile of nothingness at the very least. And the same happens as you're traveling along. Like, a lot of the reason that they have a lot of winding paths in these games is simply to avoid letting you see the fact that, hey, the game is basically unraveling as you play it. Which is a clever little trick, but at the same time, it's, you know, when you're going backwards against the camera, that's a problem. Because you might end up accidentally bumping into one of those one of those turtles. I suppose one alternative would be actually, instead of going backwards along this path, which I haven't been on yet, would be instead to go backwards on the path I've already been on, so that I know what's coming, or that I've at least cleared it up already. Like, that would be smart, although not entirely idiot-proof. Oh, what the? Come on. Because the real problem is that there are boxes on both paths, so if I want to get the box gem, I'm going to have to go back on either path anyway. Okay, you know what? I think that's exactly what I'm going to end up doing, is I'm just going to backtrack along this path. And try to remember where all the pits were. Hopefully. I say hopefully. And assume that none of the enemies that were behind me have respawned. It would be nice to assume that. I can't be totally sure, though, which is why I'm still nervous walking backwards here. I think... Yeah, okay, now I can start moving forward again. Assuming I don't get hurt again. You know, it's odd. This game is called Cortex Strikes Back, yet the plot of the game would have you believing, you know, if you hadn't seen that opening cutscene where you were already aware of exactly how evil Cortex's plan is, or potentially, that, well, Cortex is actually trying to be the good guy for a change, for something to actually do the world a favor. What kind of favor? Not sure, but, you know, he looks like he's on the up and up. At least from the perspective of Crash, who doesn't know any better because he's a gullible oaf. And just kind of out of his gourd, as you can probably imagine from somebody who's been through all the experiments that Cortex put him through. It's also the introduction now of crates that you can only break by doing a belly flop. Oh, I remember this. Okay. This bonus stage is a little bit tricky because you notice these white outline boxes. Those are boxes that haven't spawned in yet. Yeah, and you think it's as simple as, oh, well, that's that. But remember, there were boxes back here that also only just spawned in. Yep. And these boxes are kind of annoying. Remember, these boxes you have to bounce on 10 times to get all the Wumpa fruit out of them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, I miscounted. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's all the boxes in there. If I'm wrong, fuck. God, dadgummit. I was doing so fine at first, and then it falls apart. Yeah, this is a little trick. I'm trying to use a slide jump to completely get around falling into those pits. Okay, yeah, good. I got all the boxes. Huzzah. Also, yeesh. Kind of thought I'd get a lot more done in this particular part so that we could move on to the boss by now, but because I decided to dink around last part. Yeah, good job, Crash. You pat yourself on the back. We're gonna have to call this part here. And I will see you guys on the next part of Let's Play Crash Bandicoot 2. Cortex Strikes Back. Press start to begin. Actually, no, that's not part of the title. Anyway, thank you all for watching. As always, I will direct you all to my social media links in the description below if you can follow up on any of them at your own discretion. RCFS and out.